Welcome back. It's 8:48 and you're watching and listening to Breakfast with Anne and Pip. And we're going to dive into some of the other news stories making headlines today with author and commentator Nikki Hodgson and showbiz reporter Stephanie Tecci. But first, let's have a quick look at today's front pages.
The Times leads with millions of people waiting more than a month just for a GP appointment, with more and more patients going private.
The Eye warns that millions will continue to face mortgage misery as the average two-year fixed rate jumps to 6%.
The FT reports on Western countries considering how to steal hundreds of billions of dollars owned by the Russian central bank in order to give it to the Zelensky government.
Unbelievable, reads the front of The Sun, as it quotes the grandmother of kidnapped Alex Batty, who has now been found.
And front page of The Star. Apparently, academics want to strip potatoes of their vegetable status to cut obesity.
OK.
I do like that headline, though. What a spuddy outrage. Yeah. That's very clever.
I mean, I always think chips count as one of your 5 a day, but...
Oh, I would, absolutely. Why not? Nikki, yeah, the long wait to see a GP.
Oh, my goodness, aren't we all so fed up of this? I mean, it's just getting worse and worse. So apparently about 14.9 million appointments took place more than 28 days after they were made in the first 10 months of this year. Yeah. And that's up from 12.8 million the year before.
Wow. So, in other words, you've got to wait a month?
You've got to wait a month to see. I mean, I think we've all been in that position when they say, ring us at 8 o'clock, you ring at 8 o'clock, you're in a queue and all the appointments have already gone. Yeah. I mean, I've got a little baby and I worry about if she gets sick and will I even get to see someone. They seem to be a bit better with children. But, I mean, it just kind of beggars belief, really. Yeah. And, I mean... I've got multiple things that I need to see the doctor about and I just haven't got an appointment. Yeah. I just don't bother. The thing that I have done, though, is, like lots of people are doing, is subscribe to a private GP app, which you can have on your phone and you can get an appointment in a much shorter space of time and just pay a few quid for that.
It's going to have to be the way forward because clearly we cannot depend on the NHS, which is such a shame because we had such a golden standard for the health service, which people around the world loved and respected. But now it's just crumbling in front of our eyes.
So is there an argument for those who can afford it to go private? And I know we'd end up with a two-tier system, but with the NHS now not seeming fit for purpose.
Yeah, I agree. I think health is wealth and you cannot, the longer you wait and you don't know what a condition could be or what state you're in, you have to take your health into your own hands. And I think as well, it's one of those depressing things where people just go on Google now and they're trying to figure out what they've got wrong or they're trying to self-prescribe themselves.
And that's a rabbit hole you do not want to go down.
And also, apparently, 28,000 deaths in the first 6 months of this year were for minor conditions, things that could have been stopped earlier if they'd actually seen somebody for an appointment. That's a terrible statistic. You can't get into a position where you just put it off because you can't get an appointment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's maddening. I've just kind of thought I just have to go private, even though I don't agree with that. I feel like,
because still you find yourself asking, what is causing this? Yeah. What on earth is causing this? I mean, is it lazy GPs? One presumes not. So I feel like standing outside my GP surgery and ticking people. Yeah. Are you going in for an appointment? When did you make it? And actually doing some sort of survey.
I know. Well, apparently there's a shortage of GPs, as we do know, because they feel like their working hours are just too long.
But I tell you what, there isn't a shortage of private GPs.
No, isn't that funny? Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's perhaps they feel like they're not getting paid enough or being treated well enough.
Do they have the same kind of knowledge and service as the NHS staff?
They should be properly
Because
qualified.
I hear, like, you know, if it got to things like surgery, sometimes they end up taking you back to the NHS or to a mainstream hospital. So then you think,
the other thing is, I think a lot of it is to do with the expense of qualifying to become a doctor. You know, it's extortionate to be able to become a doctor in this country, even if you just become a GP. And you know, same with nursing. We've got to do something about improving the way that people can train in the first place.
And even when you do have an appointment, the doctors are tired when you're in there and they're, like, trying to rush you out because they're thinking, I need to get to the next appointment. So you don't feel like...
I mean, the appointment is meant to be, what, 8 minutes?
Yeah,
at the
8
max.
minutes.
And they say one issue each. Oh,
yes.
They make that point.
You can't take multiple issues.
No.
You can't take a list of things.
About 6 months.
Yeah. A load of problems,
OK, cheer us up, Steph. It's the Strictly final tonight.
You know I love Strictly, and I think it's been a great series from Angela Rippon, from Annabelle Croft, who got into the show to help her deal with the grief of losing her husband this year, but now we're down to the final 3 contestants. We're either going to have a groundbreaker champion, with it being the first same-sex couple with Leighton Williams and his dance partner Nikita. They've done fabulous, this male pairing, but he's got a lot of slack because he's been professionally trained. He's got a dance background.
But a lot of them have gone to theatre school.
They have, but I think
I think that's really unfair to home in on him.
And I think it's going to probably work against him. I think even though they've been great and they've topped the leaderboard twice, I just don't think he's going to win. But then we've got Ellie Leach and her dance partner, Vito Coppola, and they've done amazing. They've topped the leaderboard 4 times. She's a chorus star, and I think she's the one that's going to win it. She is the bookies' favourite, and I think they haven't put a foot wrong the whole season.
A lot of commentators like Bobby Brazier.
Yes, and if he wins, he will be the youngest Strictly champion. He's 20 years old. He's done amazing again.
He's Jade Goody's son.
Yeah.
And it's somehow lovely to, you know, she made her name as a reality TV star, and her son could win Strictly.
I know.
And he wasn't professionally trained in any way at all. He was a total newbie.
He's just got loads of personality, hasn't he, as well? He's just so lovely.
He's quite charming.
Yeah.
So tonight they're going to be performing 3 dances, their favourite dance that they've performed from the series, the judges' favourite, and then they'll do a show dance where all the rules go out the window. So I think it's going to be a very thrilling
I know
final.
not to ring my mum during Strictly tonight, because she won't pick up.
I'm going to miss it when it goes. I think Strictly is just one of the best shows we've got out there.
Yeah.
Well, we have to leave it there. It's been a very short look at the newspapers, but thank you so much. And we better whiz towards the weather.